official. I'm doing Gen 7 now. As some of you know that I used to do a lot of VGC15, and I enjoyed VGC15. It was quite a fun generation, but VGC16 kind of threw me off. I didn't like VGC16. It was basically just Ubers. VGC17 didn't really attract me as much either. There was no like megas and stuff like that. It was just all Z crystals. But VGC18, it has my full attention. VGC18 is basically VGC15 but with terrains. With the new additions of those Tapu Pokemons in Gen 7. So now it's just basically, like I said, VGC15 with terrains everywhere, and obviously Z crystals are still about. So yeah, I decided to bring my VGC15 team and see how it would cope. I versed my man Yus, and Yus absolutely wrecked me. Like, no joke, he basically demolished me 3-0. Like, we did a best out 3 and he just wrecked me. It's just completely embarrassing. But it showed me that my team wasn't like ready for VGC18, because I was trying to understand what VGC18 was, and it's more of a hit hard, get hit kind of tier. Like, you don't see much status around anymore, you don't see priority around anymore. So my Sableye pretty much came obsolete. My Kangaskhan, I couldn't really use priority moves. Power Up Punch is not really a thing anymore because of Move Tutor. Smeargle couldn't get Dark Void anymore. So I pretty much scrapped the team and made a new one. In terms of speed control, Zapdos carries the Tailwind. Landorus went from Choice Scarf to Assault Vest. Landorus and Zapdos do a pretty good combo, like the old Thunderous Landorus combination. Tapu Lele replaces Sylveon, still having that Fairy typing, but brings the Psychic Terrain. Psychic Terrain pairs really nicely with Mega Metagross. Metagross is just a beast in it. Charizard used to be Politoed to stop Fire, but Fire just became such a annoyance to this team that I thought, why beat them, like join them sort of thing. So it went from Politoed back to Mega Charizard, and Mega Charizard's just been doing so great for me. So my Charizard hasn't changed since VGC15, and Aegislash was a Moongus in the rain, but then it went back to Aegislash because I needed that wide guard. That wide guard has helped me out so many times, and it carries the Ghostium Z Crystal. So Aegislash with the new Z Crystal is just amazing. I decided to practice for a month or so until the Global Link leaderboards reset. So I just played a little bit. I didn't actually play that much, but I managed to climb back to 4th place, exactly where I left off in VGC15, which is pretty cool. The leaderboards have reset now, so I'm not actually on the leaderboards right now. So yeah, during the first month, I managed to find a pretty strong opponent here. Goes by the name of Batman, who at the time happened to be the first best player in France. So I thought, alright, this will make a good first upload for my VGC18 battles. So yeah, let's do this. My opponent's going to be leading out with the Cresselia and Landorus, and I myself am going to lead out with Zapdos and Landorus. As you can already see how VGC15 like it is, because these were exactly the same Pokemon used then. So I'm going to go ahead and try get off a Tailwind, but then again, I know that Cresselias tend to carry Trick Room, and that kind of sucks. So I don't have my Tapu with me, because usually that thing has taunts. So I'm just going to go ahead and try get rid of the Cresselia as soon as possible, because the sooner I get rid of it, the better it is for me, so I can try set up a Tailwind later on. So I'm just going to go ahead and double into the Cresselia. I'm going to knock off to get rid of whatever item it has, and with Zapdos I'm just going to T-Bot with that slot. I go for the knockoff. It doesn't do that much damage, sadly, but he reveals he has a Mental Herb, so even if I had Tapu with the taunts, it basically wouldn't have done shit anyway. He goes for the Rock Slide, doesn't do too much damage. My Landorus is definitely faster than his, because not only did I go first this turn, but my Intimidate went before his Intimidate, so I know that I'm faster. I'm expecting him to set up the Trick Room here, but he goes for an Ice Beam and just tries to get rid of Zapdos, so he had the same plan I did, to get rid of the Pokemon that runs the speed. I was surprised to not see my health recover here, because now I run the Citrus Berry Zapdos, but back then I was running the Psychic Seed Zapdos. So what that was an item that would give you a +1 special defense boost in the Psychic Terrain, but the problem with that was that I would have to waste the turn using Roost, and I would use one move slot up, whereas I can have HP Ice and Heat Wave, but I would have to miss out on one of them for the move Roosts, which I go for on this turn. And it also meant that if I didn't bring Tapu along, that not only would the Psychic Seed item go to waste the whole battle, which it did this battle, but I would also feel obliged to stay in sometimes because I've got the +1 special defense boost, so I wouldn't want to switch out. So I couldn't play as freely as I wanted to, costing me to die more. But I want Zapdos to set up the Tailwind and die sometimes so I can get a free switch. So I don't run Citrus Berry anymore. Anyway, he set up a Trick Room and I bring in the Aegislash this turn because I want him to, you know, be a bit careful now that he's set the Trick Room up. And what he does this turn is really smart. I guess this is his way of dealing with things like this. My Zapdos goes for the T-Bolt this turn. I guess I wasn't running Heat Wave. I guess I went for the HP Ice over the Heat Wave, which would have sucked because if I went for the Heat Wave, I could have started killing this Ferrothorn, especially what's about to happen on this turn here. So I'm going to try finish off that Cresselia. And he goes for an Ally Switch, which I don't see often, but this is one of the reasons I like VGC. You see shit like this. He goes for a Leech Seed on Aegislash now. But what's really smart is Leech Seed takes the health and goes to the slot of where that Pokemon was standing. So because Pharaoh was used to be in Cresselia's position, now Cresselia is going to be the one getting the Leech Seed, which is pretty fucking good. So now I do double into that slot because if he switched out I would have got double the damage anyway. I honestly predicted him to switch out, but he didn't. He decided to ally switch instead. So that Cresselia is safe over there. It would have been cool if I had Heat Wave this turn because it would have got damaged anyway. But yeah, Pharaoh will take Aegislash's health and Cresselia is going to go ahead and take Zapdos' health. So yeah, this ain't looking too good for me because Zapdos is going to die soon. They've got the Trick Room up and both my slots have Leech Seeds going towards both their slots. So I'm going to have to try to come up with something. Now he decides to switch out the Cresselia, which is fine. I guess that's why his Landorus was so slow, because it's a Trick Room Landorus. The thing is that Landorus no longer has its item because the previous turn I took off its Assault Vest. And the Pharaoh is going to go ahead and Gyro Ball the Zapdos. I'm just going to go ahead and let Zapdos die. I mean, I can't really save it, and even if I could, this Trick Room is going to be a bit of a problem for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and try kill off the Cresselia, but it's no longer a Cresselia. So yeah, I'm going to have to now bring something else in. So I'm going to go ahead and get a free switch in. I'm just going to bring in the Charizard because a Heat Wave is looking really good right now. I'm going to try to go for the Heat Wave, but first I'm just going to go for a double protect because one, I need to get Aegislash back in his defense form. Two, this is the last turn of Trick Room. I was trying to burn out a turn of Trick Room, but I didn't realize this was actually the last turn. So doing the double protect means the Trick Room fades away. And I needed Aegislash in his defense form because I'm planning on going for a Wide Guard. Because the worst thing he can do to me, Pharaoh can't do shit to either one of my Pokemon. And the worst thing that can happen is taking a Rock Slide. I don't mind taking an Earthquake because I'm going to Wide Guard anyway. And Rock Slide is the worst thing that can happen. If he wants the Superpower for some reason, go for it. If he wants the Knockoff, the beauty of this gen is that since Aegislash runs the Ghostium Z Crystal, Aegislash just takes nothing from Knockoff anymore. It does half the damage, so that's like the beauty of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Wide Guard here, and I'm just going to protect myself from the Rock Slide because that's all I need to do. So Trick Room's going to go ahead and run out this turn, so now speed's gone back to normal. I'm hoping my Charizard's going to be faster here, because if it is, then I'm going to get a double KO here on this Cresselia and this Landorus. The thing is, my Charizard doesn't run max speed. It runs enough speed to outspeed nature boosted base 70s, so a max speed Breloom for example. I don't run max speed because I have Tailwind anyway, so if I get to attack first, I get a double KO here. If my Heat Wave for whatever reason misses, I'll still have the Wide Guard up just as safety, just to make sure he doesn't KO me in return. And if he does go first, I still have the Wide Guard up anyway. But the thing is, he does go first and he goes for a U-turn. So that I didn't really see coming. I guess this guy was like one step ahead of me, or maybe, I don't know actually, because he knew he had a Trick Room Landorus, so he must have thought, if he thought I was a max speed Charizard, I would have easily got a double kill there. But anyway, he decides to switch out. This ain't too bad for me because I actually get some damage off on this Charizard, because because I'm not going to have too much to deal with it later on. So he goes ahead and brings the Landorus back in. Now I could easily go for a wide guard here and do the same as before, or as long as I protect myself from the rock slide, it's not a big deal. I'm killing that Landorus whatever happens, and I'm getting some damage off on the Charizard. Another heat wave. The heat wave looks like it's going to be a 3-hit KO, but instead I thought, you know what, he must be predicting something like that, because this guy is top man, you know, he's up there, he's smarter than that. So I'm going to go ahead and preserve Aegislash, because I don't see a point in playing predictable. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Landorus in and get the -1, because my Charizard has deliberately been EV'd to live a rock slide from a Landorus. It can live one at full health, just with like 2 HP or some shit like that, but it can also live one better at -1. So this rock slide I know will not kill my Charizard. I know for a fact it's not gonna do too much. So I'm gonna go for a heat wave myself, and I happen to miss his Landorus, which is quite bad, because now that, you know, that's gonna suck. And his Charizard's gonna go ahead and use Flamethrower. I kind of saw something like that come in, because I assumed that if he went for a rock slide, he's not gonna pair the rock slide with the heat wave if I use wide guard, because then he misses a turn. So I predicted him to like go for overheat on the Aegislash slot, but instead of overheat he carries the Flamethrower. So yeah, my Landorus is just gonna go ahead and die. There's not much I can do about that. I'm gonna go ahead and play that turn I was gonna play the turn before, where I used the wide guard. The Landorus is the fastest thing in the battlefield right now, so as long as I protect from a rock slide, I'm good. So I'm going to go for the wide guard, he goes for the rock slide, the Landorus basically wastes the turn. I predict he's going to do the same thing again, go for the Flamethrower towards the Aegislash. I mean, he didn't get a special attack drop, so why wouldn't he? My Charizard wouldn't die if he decided to attack the Charizard instead. And my Charizard is 100% faster than his Charizard, I know that for a fact. So as long as I didn't miss there, nothing, you know, it's going according to plan. God forbid, if that missed, oh my god, I think I would have been done. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lose Aegislash. I guess that miss cost me earlier when I missed the Landorus, but it's not too bad, because I know for a fact my Charizard's faster than his, and this is gonna look like an easy double kill here. As long as, like, if he wants to protect Stormy, go ahead. I don't really give a shit. It's, you know, it's not changing anything. The worst thing that could have happened was I missed the heat wave on the Charizard, and then him killing me with a Flamethrower overheat or whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit both of them, which is victory towards me. And yeah, that was my first VGC18 upload. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to go ahead and check out some of my older videos, there's some right there from my VGC15. But otherwise, I'll catch you lot in the next one.